Help you out. Okay, good evening. By way of introduction, my name is Michael Albanese, and I am the chief of the Burbank Police Department. And today we are having our annual community engagement meeting specific to Assembly Bill 481. So a little backstory on 481. It is the Military Equipment Use Report. So there's a couple things that are required in that legislation that was passed or went into effect January 1, 2022. One, there was a need for a policy, a use policy of military equipment. Second is that the there had to be approval for the use of the military equipment. There also had to be an annual report, and that report had to be on the department's website for at least 30 days before this meeting. So the commission will recall that January 17th, we had our police commission and we presented the report. After that report was presented, we put it on the website to be in compliance with AB 481. And today we're having the annual community engagement meeting. There's an opportunity for the community to ask questions and to have further discussion on AB 481. So what we have done is that we have collaborated with our police commissioners to do a handoff, if you will, after the presentation is done by Sergeant Turner to facilitate any questions, concerns by the community, either in present or telephonically. So that's the purpose of today's meeting. And just as a footnote, once all of this is done, it has to be approved by the city council, and I believe that is scheduled for April 9th. Where to make sure that we're in compliance and also for policy use approval moving forward. So having said that, Commissioner Ellman, I'm going to hand off to you, and if you can introduce Sergeant Steve Turner, who will do the annual military equipment report PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you, Chief Albanese. I'd like to welcome Sergeant Stephen Turner to give us a presentation of the military report of the Burbank Police Department.
Great. Good evening, Commission. You could have the PowerPoint, please. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Sergeant Steve Turner, the Public Information Officer, also with the Professional Standards. This evening, we'll be discussing Assembly Bill 481, or military equipment, what it is, and how it pertains to the department and our community. Assembly Bill 481 was introduced to increase transparency and accountability. It defined what constitutes military equipment into 15 categories. On September 30th of 2021, Governor Newsom signed into law AB 481, which went into effect on January 1st, 2022. As the Chief said, some of the requirements that we have, what Assembly Bill 481 means to the department. City Council had to approve the military equipment use policy, and that occurred on April of 2022. City Council approved the equipment in our inventory. We, the department, published the report on our website. And now, each year, we have to hold a community meeting to allow the public to ask questions and discuss the report, which we're doing this evening. This year's report, the 2023 military report, is published on our website for the past month and will remain until next year's report. You can find the report at burbankpd.org. If you click the link to view the policies and professional accountability documents, it's a red banner on our website, and follow that, and it's under department policies. This report includes a description of each type of military equipment, the purpose of each type of military equipment, the authorized use, the expected lifespan of the items, the fiscal impact to include maintenance, and it'll also include a summary of any utilization of the equipment this past year. This presentation will be an overview. We will cover a majority of the equipment we have, not every single piece. We will discuss some of our main pieces and examples of their use. The first piece of equipment we'll discuss is the unmanned remotely piloted ground vehicle, also known as the SWAT robot. It's a remote controlled with audio and video relay capabilities. The robot can easily negotiate varied terrain and stairs using the quad flippers, as you see there on the photograph, and its track system. Only SWAT team members who have been trained on the use of the robot can use it. It can be used in a variety of ways. It can be used to clear buildings, open doors, and deliver equipment or items, to name a few. This can be the eyes and the ears, and you introduce this robot instead of personnel safely and get a good idea where a suspect may be or a layout of a location. This robot was not deployed operationally in 2023. I'll be saying that a couple of times this evening, not operationally, meaning we haven't, just as it sounds, we do constantly train on a lot of this equipment, utilize this equipment in training scenarios, but whether it's used operationally or not, I'll clarify that for you. The next piece of equipment we have is the unmanned remotely piloted aircraft, the drone. Drones are capable of transmitting footage in real time to the drone operator, ground officers, and to incident commanders on scene or at remote locations. One of the benefits of the drones can be operational within minutes if it's out in the field. We currently have 5 operators currently trained. The training's pretty robust, and it includes FAA training, interdepartmental training, and a test. The drone was deployed 20 times in 2023. Most of the time, we use the drone for aerial photography of traffic collisions and crime scenes. But it was also utilized at such events such as the Starlight Bowl, 4th of July, Holiday in the Park, and the Mayor's tree lighting ceremony as Overwatch. A couple other examples I'd like to share with you is in May. Officers received reports of a female calling for help in Wildwood Canyon, our trail area. After a search of the trails with the assistance of the drone and interviews with several other hikers, it was determined there was no evidence of a crime. Nobody appeared in distress or in need of assistance, but that drone provided an extra set of eyes to help us more accurately search those trails. In July, a suspect had committed a robbery at a local market, fled into the surrounding neighborhood. Officers arrived, the drone was deployed, and was quickly located by the drone a short time later. That drone operator was able to direct officers to the suspect's location where he was taken into custody safely. The Armored Personnel Carrier, or Bearcat. Bearcat's an acronym, stands for Ballistic Engineered Armored Response Counterattack Truck. They're constructed by a company called Lenco Industries, and they're one of the favorites in law enforcement. It enables the department to respond to active shooter scenarios, barricaded suspects, conduct rescue operations, and high-risk warrants. This vehicle provides a high level of ballistic protection. This vehicle was deployed 4 times in 2023. A few examples are in February. Officers responded to a report of a male and female arguing, yelling. As officers arrived on scene, the male from the window told the officers if they come any closer, he's going to shoot them. Officers were able to get some kind of cover and start negotiating with this individual who was in the window. Another officer requested that the Bearcat, which is stored at our police station, be driven to the location to provide additional cover. That, along with one of our crisis negotiators, was able to get even closer to this individual in the window, continue negotiations, and ultimately resolve it without incident. The suspect gave up. The suspect's sister, the female half in this argument, was located unharmed in a rear bedroom of the residence. She was in communication with our dispatch throughout the entire incident. In November, Burbank officers responded to the end of a Glendale PD pursuit, which ended in our city. Burbank PD officers brought the Bearcat to a location where it was positioned in front of the suspect vehicle in order to provide cover and prevent the vehicle from fleeing again, causing more danger to our city. After some negotiation by Glendale officers, the suspect placed his hands in the air and exited the vehicle. He complied with the commands and was arrested by Glendale officers without further incident. This past December, The department's SWAT team assisted Pasadena Police Department with a multiple location search warrant pertaining to a robbery investigation. The Bearcat pertaining to a robbery investigation. So it's another example, obviously, with Glendale and with Pasadena, where we've assisted our neighboring cities in certain instances. The Bearcat is also on display for events such as National Night Out, Fire Service Day, or similar events. At those events, the community members can get an up-close look at the vehicle and even climb inside and get a better understanding of the vehicle's capabilities. The Command and Control Vehicle, Mobile Command Post. It's an RV outfitted and designed to provide the department with a mobile base of operations. It contains equipment to assist with various types of field operations and special events. It serves as a backup communication center in the event of our communication center fails. Or in recent history, when our communication center was upgraded and updated and remodeled, we had that set up in our parking lot to use as the communication center. I've been a part of it when it's been deployed at prolonged investigations or at crime scenes, which are very detailed and a lot of teamwork and be out there for hours. Or during natural disasters such as the 2017 Latuna fire to assist in coordinating resources and or evacuations. The command post, similar to the Bearcat, is also on display for events such as National Night Out, Fire Service Day, or similar events. The mobile command post was not deployed operationally in 2023. Noise flash device, also commonly referred to as the flashbang. The noise flash device, NFD, or flashbang, is a device that creates a bright flash and a loud sound to temporarily divert the attention of subjects in the immediate area. NFDs are used to distract and temporarily incapacitate dangerous suspects by overwhelming their senses of vision and hearing. This distraction allows officers to seize a moment of opportunity to take control of high-risk situations. This device is only used by our SWAT team. Noise flash devices were not discharged operationally in 2023. Some of our chemical agent delivery devices. On the slide are some of the examples of the chemical agent delivery devices we have in our inventory. These CS and OC chemical agents are designed to cause discomfort and are deployed to control an individual or groups of individuals who are engaging in or about to engage in violent behavior. The difference between CS and OC are their chemical makeup. CS is synthetic and OC is made from natural compounds found in chili peppers. Only SWAT personnel are authorized to deploy these items. Chemical agent devices were not discharged operationally in 2023. The MK9 Stream Aerosol Chemical Agent Device. Unlike the previous slide, the MK9 is another type of OC delivery device that can be deployed by all officers, not just SWAT personnel. It's an easy-to-use trigger handle similar to a small fire extinguisher, and it will deliver a short burst of OC. The OC aerosol product utilizes a stream or wand seen pictured there. Delivery method, providing a target-specific, strong concentrated stream at a greater distance. No decontamination of a location is necessary after its use, unlike CS, which takes a significant amount of cleaning after its use. The MK9 Stream Aerosol was utilized 2 times in 2023. In January, officers were dispatched regarding a possible residential burglary in progress. Witnesses observed 2 males wearing ski masks jump over the fence in a residence under construction. Officers set up a perimeter, started looking for the suspects, found evidence that these suspects fled into a neighboring house underneath a crawl space. That provides a particular dangerous situation both for our canine as well as our officers. Utilizing the canine as a ruse, having them bark, the officers issuing commands. Another officer went around the crawl space of this house and introduced the MK9 Stream Aerosol, which induced coughing in one of the suspects. Suspect then knew that he was found and gave himself up peacefully and was taken to custody without incident. Later that same January, officers responded to a call for service regarding a male prying open a mailbox with a knife. Officers arrived and attempted to detain the male. The male brandished the knife and fled on foot. The male later perched himself on top of a high wall, provided a unique situation for the officers. The officers were able to create a perimeter around him and start negotiations. Some of our other weapons would be ineffective due to the fact that he was high. You wouldn't want to use some of these weapons we talk about later on in the presentation. After continued negotiations, the individual finally climbed down off this high wall, however, refused to drop the knife. Officers were able to formulate a plan and use the aerosol spray, caused discomfort. The individual dropped the knife and was taken into custody without further incident. The kinetic energy weapon, a pepper ball launcher. Similar to a paintball gun, this system uses high-pressure air to deliver chemical agent powder projectiles. It launches projectiles filled with OC pepper powder that explode on impact, engulfing the subject in a cloud of irritant. It has an effective deployment range of 5 to 60 feet. Also pictured is the glass breaker. That's the white round balls there that are solid polymer projectiles used for breaking out residential windows or side glass of automobiles. The pepper ball launcher was not discharged operationally during 2023. The kinetic energy weapon, 40 millimeter launcher. The Defense Technology 40 millimeter single shot launcher is a less lethal system that uses smokeless powder to deliver 40 millimeter projectiles from a safe distance. Some examples of the available projectiles are on the screen. Patrol is only authorized to use the sponge round pictured with the blue top, the far left part of your screen. Similar to a Nerf ball, it's a little bit harder than a Nerf ball. That's what the projectile, 40 millimeters in size. It was discharged 4 times in 2023. In September, officers responded to a local store regarding an unknown problem. Burbank Police Dispatch advised responding officers that an unknown male had called 911, stated, "Send someone as soon as you can," and hung up the call. Officers arrived on scene and observed a lone male in the parking lot pacing back and forth. Officers attempted to make contact with this individual. Suddenly, the male pulled a knife from his pocket, brandished it, and held it in a threatening manner towards the officers. The male continued to refuse commands to drop the knife. After several commands, the male still refused to drop the knife, and officer deployed the exact impact 40 millimeter standard sponge round. Suspect ultimately dropped the knife, was taken into custody safely. In November, officers were investigating a report of a male sleeping on the property of Horseman School. As officers approached the suspect, he reached his hand in his right pocket, pulled out a knife. The suspect threatened the officers multiple times. When the suspect walked toward another officer with the knife in hand, an officer deployed the exact impact 40 millimeter sponge round. The suspect immediately fell to the ground and was taken into custody without further incident. Again, the Burbank Police Department currently possesses 11 different items that fall under the military equipment classification as defined by Assembly Bill 481, outlined in detail in this report. There are multiple layers of oversight in the use of this equipment. Our Internal Affairs Bureau, Office of Independent Review, Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, and the California Peace Officer Standards and Training. Please understand that this equipment, these tools save lives. This equipment provides distance and time, 2 crucial elements in these types of critical situations as detailed before you. The annual military equipment report reaffirms the Burbank Police Department's commitment to providing transparency and information to our community to ensuring compliance with the law. The equipment outlined in this report allow the Burbank police officers to better protect our community and bring critical incidents to a safe resolution. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Commissioner Ellman, now would be the time to inquire about anybody in the audience and telephonic. And then I believe, Sherry picked me up on this, they can discuss this at the police commission session or now? Yeah, okay. You good with that? Yeah.
Thank you, Sergeant Turner, for your presentation. If there is anybody in the audience who would like to comment on the presentation, now is their opportunity. Is there anybody who would like to comment? Not seeing anybody, I will open up now to telephonic questions. You can call in on 818-238-3335. Could we take like a 1-minute break, if, just in case anybody wants to call in? Would any of my fellow commissioners like to ask any questions, have any comments on the presentation?
Well, just as Mr. Elman did, I'd like to thank Sergeant Turner and congratulate him on a great presentation. I think that the wonderful thing about this presentation was it shows the overall restraint of our officers and the fact that you outlined the specific times and dates when this equipment was used, I think just demonstrates how these tools make our community a safer place. Thank you.
Just a quick comment. This is the second report we've done. The first one was of 2022, and basically, the inventory is exactly the same.
Yes.
There may have been some refreshments, but refreshing of certain parts, but the quantities are still the same, from what I understand.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's an excellent report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any calls into the meeting?
You want to go 3 or 4 more minutes just to make sure that there's been ample grace for all.
That will be fine.
Last year's report, one of the things that was asked was the maintenance costs for the Bearcat and the command center. And I just wanted noted at the time that there were nothing more than a regular patrol vehicle. There was nothing outrageous. They're vehicles we own. So
I actually have that cost for you, and it's nominal.
we don't, it's a minimal cost for the value.
I'll be happy to share it with you here. So the fiscal impact as far as the Bearcat's concerned, the maintenance of it, the recurring annual cost is $1,277.52 for general maintenance. And the other one, I believe, was the command post. And the fiscal impact for the command post, the RV, fancy RV, the recurring annual cost is $596.31 for general maintenance. And obviously, that'll fluctuate if it needs something else, but similar to our other vehicles.
If I remember correctly, I guess a regular vehicle is something around 600. So it's right in line with the other patrol vehicles that are already part of our fleet.
Yes.
I just had a question to the Mike's point on, refreshing things that expire, right, or get used, things like that. Obviously, the Bearcat, I'm guessing, is the most expensive item. So I'm just wondering if there's if you can share the timeline of when we may foresee that expense coming up again to potentially purchase a new vehicle or make some sort of major, upgrade to it, things like that.
Absolutely. So again, this vehicle was purchased in large part by special grants that we had, and it was purchased in 2008. The expected lifespan of that vehicle is about 20 years. And so they'll, if that time arises, and they'll probably put another bid in if needed. So far, it's working great, so.
Is that similar for the command and control vehicle?
No, that's for the Bearcat and the command and
Yeah.
control vehicle. That's a 2015 vehicle, and the expected lifespan of that vehicle is 20 to 25 years. So even a little bit longer. So we had a little more life out of the command and control vehicle, which is the RV. And the RV also has the capabilities, they could upgrade the computers inside of it if they needed to keep it up, that the vehicle itself is pretty robust.
I have a question. The chemical agents, what is their shelf life?
Typically, the chemical agents are around 5 years, give or take. I think different manufacturers have different dates set on it, but about 5 years.
Thank you. Should we check again to see if we have any calls at all? Okay. Not seeing that we have any calls, we could move on to the next part of the presentation or the meeting.
Which is So we have provided the presentation in compliance with AB 481. Again, for community members, all of this information is on the department's website. And we will be presenting to City Council in April for their final approval. And this occurs annually. And this will conclude our community engagement meeting. And thank you, Police Commissioners, for collaborating on this effort.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I'm sure it was very interesting for the public that is watching.